I follow direction well. I'll grab one. I got time. Everybody good? Good afternoon. It's really good to see everyone. I want to thank you so much for coming out. I know some folks are still trickling in, but I want to be respectful of everyone's time. And I think we have, how many is it, Pam? 92. 92. It's going to go by fast, I promise. 91 on this one. There you go. It's going to go by fast, I promise. A couple of things. It is always wonderful to see everyone. Again, the semesters go so fast. Here we are about to be in the month of May, and then commencement, and then summer, and it goes by really, really fast. So it is a real privilege to speak to each of you all, to provide some updates on where we are as an institution, where we're headed, what kinds of challenges and initiatives we're engaged upon. And I really do look forward to any questions that anyone might have. There's snacks in the back. Feel free to get up and grab some snacks. And do want to jump right into it. Again, I can't believe it's 2019 already. So I do want to thank Pam. The presentation is incredible. It's beautiful. Everything that's good in the presentation is because of Pam. If there's anything bad or any mistake, it's my fault because I've reviewed it several times. So it's absolutely my fault. I missed a comma. I saw that earlier. And then Pam comes back and fixes them right away. And I'm like, don't worry about it. I do, again, want to thank each of you all for coming out. And there's plenty of seats up front. I'm not passing the hat or anything of that nature. So everybody, it's not church. Don't worry. So what drives us? What do we do and why do we do it? I mean, it really begins and ends with our vision, our mission, and our goals. That's what drives us as an institution. That's the strategic plan that we've developed, and we're getting ready to go review them again. I don't anticipate large changes, but we'll see. But this is part of what drives us. It all begins and ends with those particular areas of the institution. You know how hard I drive and believe in student success, but the number one goal is to provide a quality education. That's what drives the institution. In addition to the vision, mission, and goals, I have what we call the presidential goals that are really enhancing those goals in the 4 areas that we continue to focus on, the areas of engagement at all levels of the institution, faculty engagement, staff engagement, everybody engaged in the process of what we're doing, but most importantly, student-faculty interaction and engagement. We're focused on partnerships and pathways. We know we can't do it alone, and we want to make sure that our students are on a path, that they're not wasting time or taking courses that they don't need, that we have a default path in the pathways work that we've done. We want to focus on creating a college-going culture and completion. The college-going culture remains a challenge for all of us. It remains a challenge for our state, and I truly worry about the future of the state. Right now, the economy is so strong, and that's a part of it. I get it. And I'm not praying for a recession at all. But part of what our concern is that people are employed, but the wages that they're employed in are not necessarily where they should be. And higher education is the key to that. And all of you all know that. That's why we work here. And so part of what we need to do is really get more students to go to college. Our region leads the state. About 58% of our high school graduates go straight to college. But even in our region, that's more than 14% below the national average. So that's one that we need to continue to focus on. And then obviously completion. You don't reap the benefits of the degree, or you don't reap the benefits of higher ed, rather, unless you complete. And that's, this one. Okay, there it is. Thank you. Everybody's confusing me. And that's why we're not only the best place to start, we're also the best place to start and finish. And so let's go ahead and jump forward. We are in the midst of our 50th year. You saw the logo up there, and I'm going to touch on the 50th year celebration in detail coming up. But we are literally and figuratively building the future. We are figuratively building the future, obviously, through the students that we're privileged to serve, the students that come through our doors that we help get to their aspiration of earning a degree or certificate. So that's figuratively building the future. We're literally building the future in that we have 6 projects across the districts. 6 projects on the 5 campuses, in addition to the amount of work that we've done to this facility, to both building A and B, and that we're continuing to do. And so we will continue to move forward. I'm not going to go through every single project. I've done those on the respective. Thank you so much. There we go. I've gone through each of the respective projects on the campus proper. Tomorrow I'll be at VV and explain those 2 projects. We've talked about the percentage done that we are on those respective projects. The one that's the least done is the Rio Grande campus, and even that one's 37% done. So you've seen these. I'm not going to go through every single one, but we are moving forward, and those projects are moving. They're on budget, they're on time. We've had a little bit of hiccups here and there, but we've fixed those along the way, and we will continue to do that. That's part of what's expected. It is our 50th anniversary, 50 years. We were created in 1969, open for classes in 1971, June 28th, 1969. And so this is a monumental year, a 50th year for the institution, our golden anniversary. And you all have heard me say this. If we don't tell our story, no one else will. That goes along with our 50th anniversary too. We need to brag to the community. We need the community to understand what this community was like without our institution 50 years ago. And in those 50 years, we've served approximately 1 million students and graduated well over 80,000 of those students. And the graduation number will continue to rise dramatically and quickly as we continue to have a laser focus on student success. We kicked off the 50th anniversary on February the 8th. We did it here at the ASC over in Building B outside of 1309. We had the press come in. We provided a press conference, provided them press kits, including USBs with lots of information about the college that they could highlight over the coming year. Mrs. Robles was kind enough to speak on behalf of the board on two fronts. As a sitting board member, so obviously understands what we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish, but also 50 years ago, Mrs. Robles was fighting for the creation of this institution. And she was one of the ones who was walking door to door and asking for folks to support El Paso Community College and the establishment of community college. So we're very, very fortunate that she was willing to do that on behalf of the college. I want to thank Carrie Moe. I want to thank Lisa Elliott. They are co-chairing the committee. They helped kick this off. Culinary arts and media services that have been tremendous at this, the 5th of the 6 town halls. Thank you all so much. They were there for the 50th kickoff and have continued to be there at every event. Was just really well done. Culinary arts, the snacks, like always, were fantastic. This 50th anniversary is going to make me gain weight. I want to thank the committee and the subcommittees. This is just the ASC members. And you see all the different members who have been wonderful, from Carol to Mary Yanez, Luz Tavala, all of the different individuals. You see all the names, all of you that are at the ASC that have contributed, that are a part of this committee. Thank you so much for the great work. This is a lot of additional effort. And certainly appreciate the great work that you're doing on this to make sure that the community understands what we're working on, what we're trying to achieve, and that they understand what this college has meant to this respective community. Couple of other things that I want to touch on. So the timelines, Ms. Elliott and Ms. Villa and the History Archives Committee, these are incredibly well done. You see one that's right outside of this building or right outside of this large room, really looking at milestones within the institution's 50 years, the kinds of things that have been achieved, truly well done. You see the banners. So what's the largest segment of our enrollment? Our current students. So why wouldn't we advertise to our current students? And we're doing a great job of the 50th with the banners. We have them up. You see them on quality, success, and service on each of the respective campuses. Really well done. And again, I want to thank all of the committee members for working on that. In addition, we're showcasing the college and the community. So those of you that drive on Airway on a regular basis, you see the banners from UTEP congratulating us on 50 years. You also see banners about 50 years of success. So you can see those on the drive up to Airway and the drive back. There's a website. I can't thank Marco Fernandez and Aaron Flores enough for developing a really nice website that's on the college website that details the 50th. There's one that you can go for the press. You can look at all the different pieces in there. There's milestones. You can expand them with pictures, among others. It's really well done. So kudos to Marco and to Aaron for the great work. The Gala Committee, I want to thank Angelica and Dr. Gross and Chef Guerra and Chef Nickerson, Angelica Sano in our office, for the great work that they're doing on planning the 50th Gala. It will be held on June 28th, 2019. 50 years to the day that we were signed into legislation. So certainly excited about that gala. We will be hosting it here. We really look forward to that. And again, another opportunity for us to showcase. Lots to talk about on the 50th. So Audrey Marufo and the Community Outreach Committee, want to thank them for visiting different business and industries and community partners to talk about the 50th, to get them to see if they can be sponsors and advertise for the 50th. I want to thank Arvis Jones and the Student Engagement Committee for the open house that we held. That was held in April on the 6th. Rebecca Bell and the Faculty Association, Soraya Ajar, also Dr. La Chica Chavez and Ines Lopez and the Student Services team. We had this wonderful event where we had Kitty Corner out there as well. It was a very large event at the Valle Verde campus, lots of the community. And what we're doing is we hold some of these events on a regular basis. We're making them bigger and better for the 50th, and then we're letting folks know when they come onto the campus, by the way, we do this every year. By the way, these are events that are available to you on an annual basis. And so we're excited that they've been able to participate. Incredibly well done. Lucia Rodriguez and the Pasos Committee, wonderful job on hosting some community panelists, really going back to the roots of the college and the roots of activism. People, we take it for granted. Not everyone wanted a community college 50 years ago. Not everyone wanted everyone's vote to count 50 years ago. They were looking at you had to be a property owner. And we had to go all the way to the Supreme Court. Ms. Yanis can tell you much more about this than I can. But we had to go all the way to the state Supreme Court to get those votes to count for first establishing a college, then establishing a tax rate for the college. So it was wonderful to have that. We had a board meeting early so the board members could attend and hear the wonderful activism that occurred. I do want to thank Lorelia Ambris and Caroline Wolf-Gurley for the Spring Arts Festival that's occurring as well. And that, again, another opportunity for us to highlight on an event that would already occur, but for us to highlight the 50th anniversary. In addition, students that cross the stage next month. Those students that cross the stage will be wearing a gold medallion in honor of the college's 50th anniversary as well. So every graduate will have that gold medallion. Again, kudos to Dr. La Chica Chavez and the commencement committee for developing that. Another way for us to highlight those graduates will always be special. They'll always be our 50th anniversary graduates. So in May and December, we want to make sure that they receive those. Certainly excited about that. How many of you have gone to a ball game to see the Chihuahuas this year? I have not yet. I'm going to try to get out there. But what I'd say is when you do go early and stop at the museum before you go to the ball game. Because at the El Paso Museum, which is right across the street from the ballpark, you will see a display that's in honor of the college's 50th anniversary. A wonderful display of artifacts from the creation of the institution all the way to the present. Really well done. Mayor Margot and the First Lady of El Paso were both there for the opening event. They were incredibly gracious of how much this college has meant to this community and how much we will mean to this community in the future. So it was incredibly well done. Thank you to Ms. Camacho, Professor Camacho and the History Committee, to Kristen Sanchez and the Archives Committee. Really well done. Does anyone remember the gold gowns? We actually had gold graduation gowns at one time. So that is in honor of our 50th. We're displaying that one. It wasn't because we were 50 years old. We just had gold gowns at that time. Angelica Sano was kind enough to allow us to borrow hers, and it's on display. It's just a really well done timeline and display of what the college has done in those last 50 years. So I do encourage you to go, and I'm going to take Jessica and the boys to see this as well. And then finally, you know I'm very partial to my round pin, but I'm wearing my 50th anniversary pin. And so many of you all, or all of you all actually, should have received one. You should have gotten a 50th anniversary pin. We sent them to all employees this month in the month of April in honor of Community College Month and in honor of our 50th anniversary. If for some reason you don't have one, we will get you one. Let us know, and we will make sure that you have one. But we sent those out, and so again, excited about those. And so I wear it with pride. It's only one time that we'll celebrate our 50th. And again, we're honoring the past, and we're building for the future. So excited about celebrating that. Let's talk a little bit about the legislature. 2019, every odd year is a legislative year as well. That's why 50 years ago, that's when we were signed into legislation, because the legislature was in session. So here we are, I guess 25 sessions later, and we're in session again. And so let's talk a little bit about the legislature and what's happening in that pink building in Austin. So we decided amongst the 50 community colleges that obviously funding is the North Star. So we went from, think about a year ago, a little over a year ago, I stood here and talked to you about the challenges that we were looking at. And one of the challenges, we believed at that time that we were going to be in anywhere from a $6 to $9 billion deficit in the budget. So a year later, the comptroller comes out and says that we are in a $9 billion surplus. It's a wonderful position to be, to have $9 billion more dollars than last session. That's great. But what is the legislature doing with that $9 billion? Both the House and the Senate are focusing on public school funding. And that's great. Public schools need significantly more funding. But they're actually looking at putting between $6 and $9 billion new dollars into public schools. The 50 community colleges are hoping for some of those $1 million crumbs to fall to us. And that's kind of what we're looking at. So right now what you'll see, and I know it's hard to read, but what you'll see is the first blue column is the House bill version of the bill, so House Bill 1, and the one on the furthest right is Senate Bill 1. So both chambers come up with a bill. They're both number 1 because that's really the only thing the legislature is elected to do. The only constitutional mandate they have is a state budget. They do a whole lot of other things, but that's what they're constitutionally created to do. And so I am much more in favor of the House version. The House version is $75.2 million additional dollars for all 50 community college, not for us, for all 50. And even if you split that evenly, it would be $1.5 million for every community college. But it's not an even split. The Senate side is about $59.9 million, so a little less than the House. So what does that mean for us? Because quite frankly, there's 50 of us, but I don't really care what the funding is for the other 49. For us, it's $949,000 additional dollars on the House side, or about $475,000 per year. And on the Senate side, it's $236,000 additional dollars, or about $118,000 a year. The good news is we're in the black. This is the first session of the last 5 sessions that we have not seen a cut. That's good news. I'd like better news that we'd have a little bit more funding, but I would rather be in the black than in the red, obviously. And I'm much more in favor of the House side because that's almost $1 million more for the institution. We are completely focused on success. Not just El Paso Community College, but the 50 community colleges are looking at student success points. Back in 2013, we agreed to performance-based funding. And so what we did is 10% of our funding is performance-based funding. We also talked about core operations. So every college back then got $1 million. Now that's now $1.36 million. Right now the House wants to increase that even more, where it would go to about $1.5 million to each institution. And then the 90% remainder would be contact hour reimbursement, which is how we've always been funded. And so we've done that, and we've gone on a 3-year. What do student success points mean? Well, you get a point in success points for students getting through the developmental sequence, taking and passing the first college level course in those areas, earning 15 hours, earning 30 hours, graduating, transferring. Those are essentially the points that we're looking at. You see the 3-year rolling average. Why do we do a 3-year rolling average? Because what if there's an enrollment surge or if there's an enrollment decline, significant decline, we felt like a 3-year average would be the best way to do this. What you've seen is that each of those 5 sessions, we've seen that 3-year rolling average rise significantly from 982,000 points for the 50 colleges back in the 13 session to over 1,100,000 points this session on the rolling 3-year average. So a 15%, about a 14.5% increase for student success points. And we're asking that those points be funded at a higher level. So we've seen the runs. I've shared them with Ms. Shaughnessy and the finance team. We've seen the runs, and the runs show what each college gets on core operations, which is the same, contact hour reimbursement, and success points. So our institution has the highest percentage of success points of any institution. 15.2% of our total funding is based on our success points. So we have done, based on the math, not because I say, based on the math, we have done a better job on student success than anyone else. Now, they may have improved and improved dramatically, but the next highest institution I see is about 12.5%. 15.2% of our funding is on student success. So kudos to each of you for the great work that you do in facilitating that success. Let's talk a little bit more about the legislature. So we currently have 6 board members because the former board chair decided he wanted to run for the state, for the House of Representatives, and Mr. Fierro ran and won, and so he is now District 79 representative. He continues to understand what we deal with at the community college level. He's been an advocate. He opens doors for us whenever we're in Austin and need those doors open, which has been very, very helpful. In addition, he did a resolution that honored the college for the 50th anniversary as well. So it was very nice. My first time actually on the House floor, which was nice as well. But he is currently representing District 79. Let's talk a little bit about the delegation as a whole. So I can't thank the delegation enough. We meet with them on a regular basis. We started laying out our legislative priorities with them last July. So they knew those going in. Then we met with them again right before the session started. We've met with them subsequent times during the session. Every time that I'm in Austin for a TAC meeting or for the legislature, I make sure that I reach out to our delegation, ask them if they need me to testify. Let me also brag about the delegation. Senator Rodriguez, as the senator of the delegation, along with our 5 representatives. So State Representative Moody is Speaker Pro Tem Moody. Our delegation, that is a big, big deal. The Speaker of the House made him Speaker Pro Tem. In addition to being Speaker Pro Tem, he is the Vice Chair of the Calendars Committee. So everything has to go through calendars to get scheduled. If it doesn't get scheduled, it doesn't pass. So he's an incredibly powerful position. We're very fortunate to have him there. Next to him is now Dr. Vice Chair Gonzalez. Dr. Gonzalez finished and defended her dissertation this fall, in addition to being on the Powerful Appropriations Committee, as well as on the Public Ed Committee, and being the Vice Chair of Local Calendars. How she found time to defend her dissertation this semester during all of that, I don't know. But kudos to her for earning that degree and for being on those committees that are incredibly important to us, as well as to all the school districts, among others. Representative Blanco, Representative Ortega, and Representative Fierro have done a great job for us. Again, they understand what we're trying to accomplish, and have been helpful. As much as I go to Austin, and I do as a part of the job, and it's part of the requirement, I'm happy to do that. Our students went with us January 29th, which was Community College Day, and they did a tremendous job of representing their constituents in Austin. You see them up on the top left with Representative Ortega. You see them there with Speaker Pro Tem Moody, as well as Representative Fierro below that. You see them on the top right with Senator Rodriguez, and then out in front of the steps of the Capitol. That's where we started the day. Kudos to them for wearing short sleeves, because I was in my overcoat. It was cold. And they were still out there in their short sleeve shirts, but they did a great job of representing the college in Austin. Let's talk a little bit about accreditation. And I know everyone's saying, well, we're just getting to take a breath after our 5th year report. We are, but now it's time to start working on the next one, because here it comes. But let's talk a little bit about the 5th year first. We responded to 24 principles of accreditation on this 5th year report, and only one of those 24 principles required additional attention or additional information. Principle 6.2 on program coordinators. SAC-COC asked us to clarify on 3 of the 69 district coordinators, so less than 5% of what we submitted on those coordinators. This is phenomenal work. Dr. Penley, Mary Beth Hahn, kudos to both of you and everyone else who worked on accreditation. I tell everyone I've served on SAC's committees many times. I think I've done 5 or 6 visiting teams. And so what we're looking at is, oh, you want me to go forward? Sorry, Pam. You can just say go forward, and I will. I'm surprised Julie didn't tell me. And so what we're looking at is on those respective, SAC-COC is very much like an auditor. And so they've got to find something. And for them to say, give us more clarification on 3, not that they were done improperly, we just need more information on these 3 district-wide coordinators. It's a tremendous job. I can't thank, again, Dr. Penley, Mary Beth Hahn, and everyone else who worked on this diligently, the deans, et cetera. Thank you so much on the great work. And as I said, the next one is coming up. We have to submit our 10-year report in March of 2022. That's less than 3 years away. So institutional effectiveness plans, et cetera, those all need to be moving forward, because those all will be reported. All of these different pieces need to be in there. Evaluations, personnel evaluations, all of that needs to be in there. Our next QEP needs to be selected as well. So as much as I've talked about learning about the community as a community, you can start to forget that one, because we got to develop the next one. And so we're going to get district-wide. Everyone's going to be involved. We're going to provide a lot of information and get a lot of information from everyone on what we should be looking at. Every department will be involved. And so please start now. We don't need to wait until 3 months before SACS gets here. Dr. Penley will not survive that, nor will I. But accreditation is all about each and every one of you, and so we need to make sure that we move forward with that. Let's talk a little bit more about learning about the community as a community. We submitted that as part of our 5th year report. It was so well done that SAC-COC asked if they could use our QEP report as in the resource room for the conference as something other institutions could look at on how to do a QEP appropriately. So kudos to Dr. Quiroz and everyone else who was involved in the QEP. All the students that were involved. You see the Tejano Passport has over 3,700 students participating, over 11,000 scans. This is obviously something that's good and works. We should keep it, but it will no longer be our QEP. So we need to make sure that we start to think about what the next QEP is, as I said. Student learning outcomes. It really begins with this, and how do you measure that? How do we make sure, how do we know that students are learning? Well, we do that through our SLOs. And this was also included as part of our fifth-year report, and no recommendations on this. Kudos to Mrs. Gomez for doing a great job with all of the different faculty and deans that are involved with the SLOs. They assess those, and it is just incredibly well done. 70 disciplines identified, at least 2 SLOs. Right now, we're looking at 220 SLOs that are being assessed in total. Again, a great job to all the faculty and to Mrs. Gomez for looking and doing that incredibly well. Let's talk a little bit about programs and initiatives. Where's Mr. Gallardo? I don't see him in the audience. But he's my go-to on this. So about a month ago, Mr. Gallardo got an email from me asking him to change my direct deposit. Only I didn't send the email. So cybersecurity is a big deal. Phishing occurs. Dr. Irona and her team, you have no idea how much spam they block every single minute that people are trying to get into our system. So cybersecurity is a big, big deal, and we need to make sure that we are on top of it. So kudos to Mr. Smith, to Dr. Pago, Del Nájera, Dr. Servin, Tony Vargas, and both Susan and John Sands. We earned the National Centers of Academic Excellence in Cyber Defense. That is a wonderful designation for us to have. To be able to share and to have our students learn from this particular area is outstanding. And so kudos to everyone involved in that. We also just opened up our first Early Alert Experience Center, first year Experience Center at the Valle Verde campus. It's all glass. It's what we call our Apple Store at VV. It's really nice. It's got about 15 tablets. Students walk up. It is mostly student run with the assistance of our counselors. So kudos to Sandra Lujan and the rest of the counselors who have opened this up. This is part of a Title V grant that they worked on. And it is moving forward. The goal of it is to increase retention rates for FTI students, to reduce the amount of students that are on probation and suspension. They're showing that this works. We're going to continue to move forward. And as we can, we will duplicate these at other campuses. So excited about the great work there. Dr. Mitchell and all the program faculty and staff are developing a brand new program, or in the midst of doing this, the Cardiovascular Technology Echocardiography program. Now, you all say that real fast. Yeah, it's not easy. I've had to practice many times. But this is an incredible program. So as we move forward with the Rio Grande campus and as it's being built, this program's being developed so that the timing will be just right, that the program will be accredited and ready to go as we move into that building. These students that earn a 2-year Associate of Applied Science degree in this field, right now they're paying this field $28 to $35 an hour, $70,000 a year. With an Associate of Applied Science. Great program. These are the kinds of programs, high wage, high skill programs that we continue to develop at the college, and so certainly excited about that. Kudos to Dr. Mitchell and her team. Dr. Duarte and the Faculty Development Office, thank you for developing the Master Teacher Program. This is fantastic. Again, this is the incredible faculty that we have at the institution continuing to hone their craft, to get better, to become master teachers. So this is fantastic. We had 46 applications, 42 that were assigned, and it is a combination of full-time and adjunct faculty that are participating in this program. So again, thank you so much for developing that. The Fire Technology Academy grand opening, we held that in the fall semester. We just held that in October of this past year. We had a fire technology program. We had to relocate it, and we made it bigger and better. It was too close to the Transportation Technology Center. What do we have in the Transportation Technology Center? A lot of flammable liquids. So we needed to move that over, and we did that, and we did it really well, and so excited that that has opened up. Since the 1970s, we have trained over 1,000 firefighters. This is part of what we do as a community college. All those first responders, almost all of them come from us. Firefighters, EMTs, police officers. So these are great programs. Excited that we were able to open that up. Really well done. The Makerspace Lab is something that we're opening at the Valle Verde campus. The purpose is to encourage students to explore and get familiar with technologies that they may never have been exposed to before, to help them use these new technologies to develop things we haven't even thought of. And so kudos to Dr. Amaya and the program faculty staff for moving that forward. Let's talk a little bit more about what it'll look like and what will be in there. It's a small scale fabrication space. There'll be lots of 3D printing, high-tech 3D printing in there, CNC routers. I know Dr. Iona and her team know much more about this than I do. Scanners, and the one that makes me a little nervous, laser cutter space. I'm sure there'll be a first aid kit in there as well. We want to make sure that we're not getting anyone hurt. But it's a tech space with ultra-high speed as well. So again, an innovation space for our students to be able to work with faculty and think outside the box and develop something we haven't even thought of. Just really nice, and that we're moving this forward. Marta de la Fuente and the program faculty and staff, want to thank them for their presence in the community and taking things like massage therapy out to the community, phlebotomy out to the community, going to events like at Zach White Elementary, all the way through St. Patrick's School and others in between. Lots of events that we go out to the community. We don't wait for the community to come to us. So kudos to them for moving that forward. I know that we're in the crosshairs nationally along the border, and us and El Paso in particular. But we have a rich history and a very serving community and a very welcoming community. And part of that is these two grants that we have done and Dr. Muto and his team have done and done incredibly well. The College Assistant Migrant Program, or the CAMP grant, $280,000 a year for 5 years, currently running through June of 21. The High School Equivalency Program, or the HEP program, $475,000 a year for 5 years running through 21. These are great programs where we help students that don't have the high school equivalency, high school diploma, get them through this program, many of them matriculating straight into the college. So we know that if we can help folks get their education, they can be productive members of our community. So kudos to Dr. Muto and his team for continuing to move this forward. Over in Building B, we have the Small Business Development Center under Joe Ferguson's leadership, doing a great job. They had almost 3,600 participants who went through training. You see that they created 420 jobs, retained another over 500 jobs, and the investments total over $21 million, and sales are just under $26 million. An incredible asset for our community, as is the Contract Opportunity Centers, which operates one of the 94 Procurement Technical Assistance Centers, or PTACs, across the nation. You see that they had over 2,100 awards totaling over $300 million. And again, impacting over 6,000 jobs that were either created or retained. So wonderful job with that. In addition to getting more students into college, this is an issue that continues to plague the state as a whole. So about 1992, as a nation, the lines crossed. We started to see more women participating and being successful in higher education. And since 1992, the gap has just grown larger and larger. And this is not a zero-sum game. We're going to continue to do the great programming that we do for young women and for women as a whole, but we need to learn from those and implement some to affect young men, in particular men of color. Latino and African American males have the lowest educational attainment levels in our state. Right now, those 8th grade cohorts, if you're Latino, you have about a 10% chance to earn a degree or certificate 11 years after 8th grade. We've got to work together to change this. We have to get these young men and young African American and Latino men to understand the importance of higher education, to both participate and be successful. Dr. Amaya and the staff, we're partnering with EPISD and UTEP to implement the Tejano Empowerment Network, or TEN, and we'll continue to work on that, but kudos to them. 25 years we've been working on the Bridges to the Baccalaureate grant in partnership with UTEP. This is a wonderful program that continues to move forward. You see our summer 2018 research interns there. And so that continues to move forward. We will have, as of this fall, 15 early college high schools. I give Dr. Espinosa at Socorro a lot of credit for his vision and leadership and providing this incredible opportunity for all of his 6 comprehensive high schools in the Socorro district. This requires a year of planning and an approval, a blueprint approval through TEA, and Commissioner Morath and his team have become much more stringent on issuing these certifications to move forward with an early college high school. It is not a rubber stamp. So they work with our team, Dean Badillo, Mr. Chavez, everyone involved with dual credit and early college high schools are helping with this. But Dr. Espinosa, in partnership with us, will be opening Empire Early College, we'll be opening Falcon Early College, and Pebble Hills Early College High School. We will have 15. And again, many parts of the state have significantly more, but no one has more successful early college high schools. 74.2% of our early college high school students receive their associate's degrees before they graduate from high school. The national average still at 24%. We are more than 3 times the national average. It shows you what our students can do when they have the right support, when they have the expectations, and when we make sure that all of that is working in concert to facilitate their success. I'm very excited about these. These are 2 PTECs. What are PTECs? These are Pathways in Technology, early college high schools. These started in New York City in partnership with high schools and IBM. So these are really CTE early college high schools, career and technology education early college high schools. So you have many high school students who say, I'm not going to college. I'm going to graduate from high school. I'm going to go straight to work. Well, these early college high schools, these PTEC models allow them to get a market valued certificate or associate of applied science. So yes, you graduate from high school, but you're going to work with a credential that will earn you a living wage. Not a minimum wage, a living wage, in partnership with business and industry in our community to move forward. So we're opening one with the Career Center at Riverside with Isleta and Clint High School PTEC. 2 exciting models for us looking at this fall. Pathways continue to move forward. They are now meta majors, or the artists formerly known as meta majors are now areas of study, which makes a whole lot more sense. So kudos to the faculty and the deans and everyone involved with coming up with areas of study. We have 8 of them. We're excited to continue to move those forward. And Pathways work won't stop. This is going to continue to be a student success initiative that we continue to expand. Every single person in this room, every single individual that works at the college has a role in making student success happen through Pathways. For instance, part-time pathways. We know we have part-time. The majority of our students are part-time students. We developed those with 9 hours in mind. We told students, if you do 6 hours, it's going to take you a minimum of 4 years to graduate. So why don't you do 9? In addition, we're telling students to look at summer as a 3rd term, in particular with the fact that the federal government codified Pell Grant, summer Pell. So you take 12 in the fall, you take 12 in the spring, you take 6 in the summer, you got 30 hours done in a year. Let's start looking at the summer as a 3rd term as opposed to, I need a break. Take a break summer 2. Take 6 hours summer 1. So we're moving forward with all of those, certainly excited about that. So this is a troubling fact of what we're dealing with. So the Trellis Foundation, in partnership with Texas Pathways, reviewed and moved forward with a student financial wellness survey. And we just got our Hope Lab results. Thank you, Dr. Penley. I haven't finished reading them, but I have read the executive summary, which indicates that 45% of our students say that they're hungry, that they are food insecure. What we see across the state, that's actually better. We're seeing across the state that about 53% of students are food insecure, more than half. So think about Region 19, over 74% of their students are on free and reduced lunch. They graduate from high school, they come to us, there isn't any free and reduced lunch. So these are the kinds of things that we're trying to mitigate and trying to make sure that we help our students be successful by having the basic needs met as well. We know that students are deciding early on, as early as elementary school, second and third grade, if they're going to move forward in attending college. They start to think about it at that time. So we're getting into those elementary schools. We've adopted 2 more. This past fall, we adopted with Fabens O'Donnell Intermediate School, which is a K through 8 school. And then we also in San Elizario adopted Alarcón Elementary to get students to commit to go to college from the time they're in pre-K through 5th grade. And I know it seems far away, but those 5th graders, in less than 7 years, they'll be with us. They may be taking dual credit even before that. So we want to make sure that we create that college-going culture. Kudos to Angelica Sano in our office and the student services team for moving forward with these. We have 7 of the 12 districts that we now have an elementary school adopted. We have 5 more to go. We're going to get at least 1 in every single district. So in addition to making sure that they understand that college is important, we're now going to them also when they're in high school. And so Dr. Gonzalez, Dr. La Chica Chavez, Ms. Lopez, and all of their teams in partnership, thank you, Pam, in partnership with IT, this is the 5th one, folks, so you can already tell I'm tired. In partnership, Pam's telling me, and I'm like, am I going too slow? No, she means I'm not doing the slides, so sorry. In partnership with IT. So we started with Socorro Independent School District last spring. We went to their 6 comprehensive high schools, and we did a turnkey operation. What does that mean? Have you applied for college? Any public school will help you, any public college or university. And we do this in partnership with UTEP. Have you applied? If you've applied, have you applied for financial aid? We'll help you with that. Have you done both of those? Our counselors will provide guidance, and any of you've done that, we'll register you on the spot for summer or fall. We started with 6 high schools last spring. We are doing 23 high schools this spring. In partnership, now we've expanded from Socorro to Isleta, El Paso, Fabens, Sanelli, Anthony, Canatillo, and Clint that we're working with. No excuses for these students. Last year, we saw about a 2% increase in fall enrollment despite a robust economy. We saw our first-time in college students increase, and we saw a 7% increase in the number of applications that we received. So we know this is a good program, and kudos to all of them for making sure that this moves forward. Chief Ramirez, who I said hello to earlier, Chief Ramirez and his team in our police department are doing a tremendous job. Members of the police department went through FEMA training and completed that training. In addition, he is implementing a community policing strategy. The safety and security of our faculty, staff, and students is paramount to the board, to me, to Chief Ramirez, and everyone else. So this community, you see the bicycle patrol, and now it's getting hot, so I feel for those guys. But they're out there and getting into our respective campuses to ensure a safe environment for our faculty, staff, and students. And so I thank Chief and his team for moving forward with that. Dr. Cardosa and her staff, Career Services plays an instrumental role. We want students to start thinking about that career on the front end. Let's not wait till the back end. Let's not wait till you're about to graduate. Start thinking about it when you're choosing an area of study. And these assessments work. There's a 5-minute assessment and there's a longer 20-minute assessment. And I took them both, and I scored 97% for education on both. So it works. So that's my aptitude. We know this works. But you see all the different activities, from dealing with active employers to providing student outreach to doing mock interviews, that Dr. Cardosa and her staff lead, resume assistance. We need them to continue to expand this. This office will play a critical role in pathways. Again, getting students on the front end to determine what it is they want to pursue, what career they want to be in. Student Government Association has done a great job. President Mena, those of you that attend the board meeting, you see President Mena on a regular basis talking about and advocating for his constituents, for our students. There they are with Vice Chair Dr. Gonzalez, receiving a $5,000 check for the food pantry from PepsiCo company. This is a grant that we anticipate, or a donation that will be going forward in perpetuity. PepsiCo has committed they will continue to support us in being able to provide and buy. You see the food pantry on your right. And what we do with that $5,000 and with other donations is we turn around and we buy from El Paso's Fighting Hunger. And they sell at a much reduced rate for the college, so we can expand those. What we're dealing with now is they need more space. They don't have enough space at that food pantry, and they're also asking for things like refrigeration, things of that nature. So as we complete those projects and the buildings that we're looking at, we can look at retrofitting and trying to expand this footprint for the food pantry and SGA's work. Carmen Wages and the PSA, cannot thank you. I know it's really hot right now, but come October, the temperature will change and it'll get quite cool and cold at times. And we partner with the Sheriff's Department. And what the Sheriff's Department does is they take these blankets, over 680 that were donated through El Paso Community College. The deputies have them in their trunks. If they see someone that's homeless and cold, they provide those blankets to members of our community. And so really proud of the great work that they're doing, that Ms. Wages and the PSA is doing to keep El Pasoans warm. Thank you to everyone else who contributed. Alex Hernandez and his team at Human Resource Development, they're doing a great job of providing professional development opportunities for our faculty and staff. Everything from Change Your Lens, Change Your Life, to my favorite, Working With You is Killing Me. I think Pam attended that one, and I'm pretty sure it's because of me. But these are the kinds of great opportunities that we have. And take advantage of these opportunities, all of you. I'd highly encourage you to do that. Dr. Gross and the foundation board, great job. You know, a few years ago, I asked them to really focus on scholarships for our students. They were looking before that at different kinds of initiatives, including capital campaigns for buildings and things. And I said, let's focus on student scholarships. And they've done a tremendous job, raising about $250,000 a year for student scholarships. Here they are. They facilitated this with Mr. Castro and McDonald's Enterprises, providing $50,000 of scholarships. And Mr. Castro is committed, as long as we continue to do this right, that scholarship will be in perpetuity for us to be able to invest in our students. So certainly excited about that. Again, can't thank them enough. So I get caught, and I've shared with you all, while I may need a wig soon, that I get caught in the whirlwind. So what are our wigs? Wildly important goals. And so we really want to get to 5,000 degrees and certificates awarded to students who have earned them, not giving them away. Want to get to 5,000 for students who have earned those awards, those degrees and certificates annually. We're at about 4,600 annually. So if we can get that up to about 5,000, and then we want to focus on getting back to about 30,000 students. So this past fall, we were just under 29.2. That'd be about a 3% increase. We can't graduate them if we don't get them. And I know it's tough, in particular with how robust the economy is right now. We have a lot of people that are that are underemployed, that are in jobs that are not necessarily paying a living wage. And we know that the only pathway to higher education the only pathway through the middle class is through higher education. So we need to focus on those two particular wigs. I mentioned accreditation earlier. The only reason that SAC COC has closed institutions has been because of a lack of financial stability. So this is incredibly important to us as an institution. And I'm happy to share that under the leadership of Ms. Shaughnessy, Mr. Flores, Ms. Deas, and their respective team, that we are incredibly financially stable. We operate a $145.4 million budget. You see how the money comes in. In 1984, 72% of our budget was state appropriations. Today, it's less than 22%. So we've lost 50% of our funding from the state. I am very thankful to our legislators for that almost $32 million of funding, but it now accounts for less than 22% of our total. Taxes account for the majority of our budget, over 41%, not because we have such a high tax rate. We're less than 5% of anyone's tax bill. And we've only raised taxes 4 times in 14 years. So it's not that we're raising taxes continuously. Fortunately, it's that the tax base has grown, and we want to make sure that that continues. And then our student share of our revenue is now almost 32%, about $46 million. So that's all the revenue that we receive, and here's how we spend it. Exact same budget, $145.4 million budget. And then you see how it's spent across. These are based on the NACUBO standards, expenditures by function. I know that those of you in instruction are saying, wait, only 33%. A significant part of instruction is institutional support. And so that is only direct faculty salaries that's in instruction. So all the other areas are in institutional support. So actually instruction's a little over 50% of our budget, as it should be. Some major capital projects that are being moved forward. Mr. Lobato, Mr. Torres, and their team do a great job on a shoestring budget. We set aside money annually to try and keep up with projects that come up during the year, and they do a great job of stretching those. Here's some major projects that were completed recently, from the fire technology that I mentioned earlier, to the first year experience center that was in there as well, and the gym floor was replaced. And here's projects that are moving forward in the near future. You see all of those, one at each of the respective campuses that continues. You know we've done a lot of work in this building as well. And we will continue to do that and continue to move forward with those projects. Let's talk a little bit about IT, about information technology, the great work that Dr. Iron, Marco Fernandez, Abraham Hubal, all of the folks that are in that division do a great job as well. And I know I've shared with you all, I've been in higher ed long enough to remember when I was using a 286 computer and couldn't wait to get to it. My phone is more powerful than that 286. And it just keeps moving faster and faster, and wait till 5G comes out. We're all going to want it faster. I always have 3 devices at the office: my watch, my phone, and my iPad. And they're all connected, and if one of them gets dropped, I'm not happy. And I know you all are the same, and Dr. Iron and her team continue to do a great job of moving forward. So let's talk about the wireless system upgrade. Over 560 access points, higher speeds, higher signal strength and coverage, support for our mobile devices. This continues, and I know that we wanted to continue to go faster and faster, and they're working diligently and hard on this. You see the Wi-Fi. They're looking at not only higher signal, but coverage, scalability as well. They're currently in phase 5 of that project, and I know as soon as they finish phase 5, they'll be planning for the next one. You see all the network facilities that are out there. It's on the website as well, but kudos to all of them for that great work, including the network systems and support services, the help desk, account recovery, all of these things that occur. It always happens to me. My email and my password for my desktop always happens when I'm out of town. And so I get it on my phone and on my iPad that I can't get to my email, and what happens? I got to reset it on my desktop. So they've done a great job of facilitating these kinds of processes because it was quickly fixed. I quickly was able to get in emails again. In addition, the website has been completely redone, and cannot thank them enough. It is a website that is really focused on our main constituent, our students. Many times we develop our websites for us, and really that's not what the intent is. The intent is for them to really be focused on our students and on the community to learn more about us. So kudos to them for that. They also have really focused on the programs of study, in addition to what we're doing with meta majors, areas of study, and program mapping, that we really focused on program of study where you can search through all the different programs with much greater ease, filters that are available. So a lot of kudos to the great work that's been done there by Dr. Iron and her team. We're continuing to move forward. Let's talk a little bit about Banner 9. And this is always a contention. So Illusion says, we're no longer going to support Banner 8. And so what does that mean? That means we better get on Banner 9 as quickly as possible, because they're not going to fix the bugs that happen in Banner 8. And so phase 1 has been completed. There's 3 systems. There's a developmental system, a development environment system, a test environment, and then production. And so in those, they finished phase 1. They took a project that can take up to 3 years and did it in 3 months, in cooperation with all of you and all of the different users, super users, and departments. So development came up in October, test came up in November, and production came up live in December. Kudos for doing a huge project in an incredibly short period of time. 31 training sessions have trained over 322 employees, and we will continue to move forward. But we can't do anything without the system. How many of you remember punch cards? Okay, I remember labels. I don't remember punch cards, but I've heard of them. So, when I was doing registration, we were doing labels. But guess what? We can't do any of that without the system anymore. We can't. We're so reliant on technology. We've got to have that ERP. So kudos to all the team that worked really, really hard to get Banner 9 up and running in an incredibly short period of time. So thank you all for that. In addition, we're continuing to move forward with single sign-on. Thank God I don't have to remember 13 passwords. I only have to remember one, unless I forget that one, and then I got to call the help desk to help me with that one. But we're moving forward with single sign-on, and then business intelligence. So Power BI and the dashboards, what used to be the dashboards of predictive analytics, they're now on my iPad. You can get it on your phone. I have it on the iPad because I can't read my phone. It's not large enough. And so these are the kinds of things at your fingertips where you can look at trend analysis, lots and lots of data. And so if you don't have it, I encourage you to do it. I'm using it and using it a lot. So thank you again to Dr. Don and her team for moving that forward. So a lot of the programs and initiatives, and do want to talk about some real celebratory things that are continuing to occur in addition to the 50th, in addition to all the great things that are happening at the college. And I'm trying not to lose my voice. So let's talk about them. This is the 14th year in a row. 14th year in a row that El Paso Community College has been ranked first in awarding associate degrees to Latino students amongst all community colleges. And the 4th year in a row that we have the cover. Carrie Moe and her team, great job, the marketing team for doing this. From the time that we photoshopped the mountain to the east side there at the Mission Campus on your far right, to this most recent one in the architecture building. Beautiful pictures of our students and our graduates that the whole nation gets to see. If we don't tell our story, no one else will. And so really glad and really happy about that. Our men's and women cross-country team, our women won regionals for the 6th time in a row. Our men won it their first regional championship. Then they went on to nationals, and our ladies placed 2nd in the cross-country nationals. Our men placed 3rd. You see that Evelyn won the national championship. So kudos to Coach Hinojosa and all of his team, all of the student athletes and the coaches for getting this done. Now that was cross-country. Let's talk about half marathon. For the first time in the college's history, both our men and women are national champions in half marathon. Our men scored a 9, which is an incredible score. Elias won, and so when he won, he counts for 1 point. The rest of the team accounted for an additional 8 points to win the national championship going away. Our ladies won it again, and their score was 13, so just a tremendous job, again, by Coach Hinojosa and his team. We will be hosting their national championships half marathon this November here in El Paso. So they're going to run their half marathon route, part of it in downtown El Paso. So we're certainly excited. We've already been working with the city. Kudos to Carrie Moe and to Coach Hinojosa for working with the NJCAA to get to host that here for our 50th anniversary. We will host again in 2021. I am told that I will lead the race. So for about 2 steps, I'll be in first place, and then everybody will pass me. But we're excited that we get to host and we get to show everyone what our community is about. So excited about that. Those of you all that don't know, Coach Hinojosa has eyes. I found a picture with him, so those are his eyes. Yes, we have the glasses on top of the cap. He was awarded the Coach of the Year, incredibly well-deserved. Very well-deserved. The kind of results he's had from his student athletes. Again, and he always says they're students first. Champions on the track and field, but champions in the classroom. And so very, very proud that he received that well-deserved award. Let me brag a little bit more about President Mena and his team at Student Government Association. They will be the host school for the 1920 academic year for the Texas Junior College Student Government Association. They also won 4 awards at the state convention. They won for community service, for poetry, for essay, and they won the sweepstakes. So kudos, and again, shows you what our students are capable of. Certainly excited about that. Our cheerleaders placed 4th in the National Cheerleaders Association competition held in Daytona Beach, Florida. You see them right there in front of the water. 4th place at Nationals. We're incredibly proud of that. Very, very happy for them. Let me brag about Dr. Alvarez. So we nominated, and Carrie Moe gets all credit because she wrote the nomination, but we nominated Dr. Alvarez for the Association of Community College Trustee Faculty Award winner for the Western region. Texas is part of the Western region. We received word last August that she had won the Western region. There's 5 regions. We go to the national conference in October, and we have no idea, but we're at the gala where they're going to announce the winner, and Dr. Alvarez was chosen as the national award winner. Over 1,100 community colleges in our nation, all with full-time faculty, many at all those institutions, and our faculty member considered the best faculty member in the nation. She got up on stage to receive her award. She was with her 91-year young mom. She delivered her acceptance speech in Spanish so that her mother could understand, and then replicated the speech in English. Incredibly moving and touching, and incredibly proud that our faculty member is deemed the best in the nation. So kudos to Dr. Alvarez. Kristen Sanchez has been awarded by the Border. She's the Librarian of the Year, awarded by the Border Regional Library Association. She's our head librarian at the Rio Grande campus, and so very proud of her and for that accolade. So thrilled about that. Dr. Escamilla and Margie Nelson Rodriguez have been selected to participate in the American Association of Women in Community Colleges Leaders Institute. So thrilled that they will be able to go to that and continue to develop our incredible faculty and staff at our institution. So very proud of them for moving forward. Professor Zamora received, he is the recipient of the Father William Dearson Award, which is the highest honor bestowed on by Dismas Charities Incorporated, a not-for-profit company that operates 35 reentry centers nationwide. Kudos to Professor Zamora for receiving that award. He's a criminal justice professor at the Valle Verde campus. Mrs. Yanez, kudos to you. Congratulations on being inducted into the Hall of Fame, the El Paso Commission for Women Hall of Fame. We're certainly excited about that. The great work that you've done at the institution, congratulations and well-deserved. Your work on the television station, hosting your program, your work with our seniors, and of course, my favorite, every February, the Love Conference. You do a wonderful job. You're a wonderful ambassador. Congratulations to you on that. Absolutely. We were once again a finalist for the Bellwether Award. We've been a finalist for the Bellwether Award at least on 3 occasions in my recent memory, and kudos to everyone who works on this. This particular one was the Earn While They Learn program, where we submitted the STS students. So Dean Webb, Debbie Aguilera, Chef Guerra, Chef Nickerson, and Ms. Nájera did a tremendous job of representing the college and presenting on this particular area in San Antonio in February. Again, a top 10 Bellwether Award finalist. Certainly excited about that. Mrs. Chavez, I saw you in the audience earlier. Kudos to you and the Diversity Committee. The 6th year in a row. Oh, here, I'm on this side then. There. 6th year in a row that we have received the HEED Diversity Award. I think we're one of only 4 community colleges that has ever received the award, and we've done it 6 years in a row. So kudos to Mrs. Chavez and the whole Diversity Committee for the great number of events, all of you that are involved in all these incredible events where we celebrate the diversity of our community, the diversity of our college, and receiving national recognition for that. So kudos to you all. Our Employees of the Year. Ana Resendez is the Classified Staff Full-Time Employee of the Year. Gloria Contreras, the Classified Staff Part-Time Employee of the Year, and Mari Reyes, the Professional Staff Full-Time Employee of the Year. Congratulations to each of you. Very proud of all of you, absolutely. Our Excellence Award winners, we have them all listed. You see Lauren Welsh, who's the Minnie Stevens Piper Award winner, Miss Bell, Sue Selk, Rob Rorbla, Dr. Penley, Sandra Cuevas, Elena Baeza, and Wade Cornelius all received the Excellence Award. So kudos to each of you, well deserved. We look forward to continuing the celebration of you that is coming up shortly. But kudos to all of you for the great work on that. Dr. Stroud, I saw you walk in earlier. Dr. Stroud, thank you so much. Dr. Stroud has donated his 100th pint of blood. That is amazing. Dr. Stroud, you are 99 ahead of me. Yes. Kudos to you, Dr. Stroud, for giving the gift, the most precious gift of all, the gift of life. I did not have a good experience in that one time I donated. I am O positive. I am the universal donor. If any one of you needed it, I would donate for you, as I would donate for my family. But it was not a pleasant experience. And so, Dr. Stroud, I have even more respect that you've done it 100 times. So kudos to you. Thank you so much for that and your dedication to that. Marathon Petroleum. So my parents lived 20 minutes from South Padre Island. So I would go from my parents' house and get onto Highway 48, and I would pass Marathon Petroleum on the way to South Padre Island. And so Marathon doesn't only work in the ports, they work all the way up through the whole state of Texas. They have given us a $167,000 grant to expand our welding and machining technology. Kudos to Dr. Farias, to Dr. Valerio, to Dr. Gross, and to Mr. Valdez for facilitating that. Great job. We just held that celebration in March last month. And as I said, apparently Marathon only hires giants, because those two gentlemen on the right presented the check, and then you see me and Dr. Farias on our toes trying to be taller. Great gentlemen. It's a testament to the great facilities and the great instruction Dr. Farias and his team provide. So really excited about receiving that grant. Well done, and thank you so much. Marketing. I cannot thank the marketing department enough. So to Carrie and Laura Lee, let me start with our annual report. So we're working on an annual report for the 50th anniversary, so that's moving forward, that we're going to release that as well. But when we did this one, the 16-17 annual report, we sent it to everyone. We didn't just send it to local folks. We sent it to folks throughout the state and nation. And I had a call from a friend and colleague in Dallas who said, William, that's one of the best annual reports I've ever seen. Not just community college annual report. And boy, was he right. They were ranked 3rd in the nation. They received the Bronze Paragon Award. So kudos to Carrie and Laura Lee. In addition, Ismael de la Rosa, in partnership with the Student Leadership in Campus, they received the Medallion Award in District 4 for the Pride Wednesdays, where we wear our purple and teal. So tomorrow's Wednesday, so if you're at VV, I'll be wearing teal. I don't have a lot of purple, but I have a lot of teal. But this is a great event as well, and great initiative that received national recognition. It's a bittersweet moment for many of us in El Paso. Dr. Natalicio has been a huge partner, an incredible partner to this community, a huge asset to this community for 32 years. She's in her 32nd year as president. She's in her 48th year at the university. Started in 1971. So believe it or not, she's been in higher ed at UTEP. We opened for classes in 1971. So she's been a fixture in this community. We wanted to make sure she understood how much she meant to us at the college. And so we held a celebration, a reception recognizing her in March. And we were able to thank her here at the ASC. It was really well done, and we were certainly pleased. She's been a tremendous partner. We also look forward to Dr. Wilson. Secretary of the Air Force, Dr. Wilson, I have met her. I've had dinner with her. She has been focused, and she has talked about wanting to expand the great work that Dr. Natalicio has led of both access and excellence. And so we look forward to partnering with her. She will begin on August the 15th. And so again, we look forward to continuing that partnership. We currently have the model 2-year, 4-year partnership nationally. Let's make sure, and I hope that Dr. Wilson makes sure that we continue to enhance that partnership. On behalf of the currently 6 board members, we have one that's an open seat. And by the way, the election's on Saturday. If you haven't voted, today's your last day of early voting. 3 seats that are up. But on behalf of Judge Haggerty, Dr. Graham, Mrs. Robles, Ms. Nahira, Ms. Sanchez, and Mr. Uxer, thank you all. Thank you all for making the college what it is today. Thank you for your dedication and your commitment to serve the students that we have. Thank you so much for all that you do. Couple of announcements and reminders. Thursday, September the 5th is Professional Development Day. So we will do a state of the college in the afternoon, but you will have professional development opportunities through your respective divisions. We will not have classes in the morning all the way until 5 p.m. Afternoon classes after that will resume. At about 2 o'clock that afternoon, I will deliver a state of the college. By then, we'll know what the final verdict is with regards to the legislature, where we are. We'll have much more of the 50th anniversary events that will have concluded. We'll report on those. Again, as part of the 50th anniversary campaign, we're looking at 50 for 50 campaign, where you, should you choose to, can donate towards scholarships for students as well. And there is the website that you can go to. Again, should you choose to do that, thank you. And again, on behalf of myself, thank you all for the great work that you do. Thank you so much for the tremendous dedication, passion, and commitment that you have for our institution and for the students that we're privileged to serve. And with that, I am done with my presentation, and I will take questions, please. 73 minutes today. Yeah. Thank you. Questions, please, while I still have a little bit of a voice. None. I love it. If you do have a question, I'll be here. Please feel free to come by. If not, again, thank you so much for the great work that you do, and look forward to another successful year with each of you all. Thank you so much.